I really got bullied when I was at school, especially for the colour of my skin. I knew I was different, and if I'm honest, I think that's why I suppressed my sexuality, because that was something else that I was very different in. Hi everyone, my name's Michael Gunning, and this is my cover shoot for Attitude magazine, which is on sale now. I'm a professional swimmer. I specialise in the 200 butterfly. I've pretty much been swimming all my life. I started to swim when I was 4 and I moved to a swimming club when I was 7 and just went from there really. I'm super excited for my first cover with Attitude. I think it's something that I've really been looking forward to. I think we all need something to look forward to, and I'm getting painted, I'm in gold, and yeah, it's going to be a really fun day. Swimming just really takes me to a place of total zen. I love being in the water. I love setting myself challenges and breaking the stereotypes, When I was younger, the teachers used to tell me that I couldn't get from one end to the pool to the other in a certain time, and I'd love to challenge them. And I think it's just a thrill of doing something different. I think my proudest moment is representing Jamaica at my very first World Championships. It's something that I've always dreamed to do, and to kind of finally get there and represent my country was just amazing. I'm very lucky because I have dual nationality, so I've represented Great Britain and obviously now Team Jamaica. But I think the biggest challenge, obviously living in the UK, is the travel restrictions. Normally I'm going away to different training camps and keeping the training going, but suddenly, I was just at home. I wasn't allowed in the pool for a certain amount of time as well. So I think it was just hard adjusting, but we're getting there. Swimmers' routine is very strict. We train twice a day, morning and night, and we're covering about 7 or 8k per session. So a week, that's about 70k a week, 65k a week. So it's very, very hardcore, but I do love it. I can kind of get away with eating a lot of carbs because I do swim so much in the water, but our diet is pretty strict. We try to obviously limit our alcohol and kind of too much carbohydrates. But it's quite a strict sport, but I can get away with eating the carbs. I think in sport there is that specific way that you think that you should look and the way that you should, I suppose, hold yourself around poolside. But I think, one of the things, especially with the colour of my skin, everyone is so different. Whether you're black, white, whether, you're really ripped or not, in swimming, it's all about the performance, getting from one end of the pool to the other. So yeah, I think it's quite tough to manage your mental health and not to kind of compare yourself to other people. But hopefully I'll be kind of an inspiration to many people who think that stereotype is true, that black people can't swim, and hopefully be that representation that I never really had. I'm very proud. I've been through a lot on my journey, and I suppressed my sexuality for so long. So I think to finally be true to myself, to be authentic, and just show people that it's okay. I'm an openly gay athlete, I'm an openly gay swimmer, and I'm happy. So, I think it's just like a massive weight off my shoulders. I think I've been quite lucky that I haven't really experienced too much homophobia, but I think, just around poolside, there will always be a few odd looks and a few comments. But I think, overall, I've had so much support in swimming, so much support in my athlete journey that it's really nice. I really got bullied when I was at school, especially for the colour of my skin. I knew I was different, and if I'm honest, I think that's why I suppressed my sexuality, because that was something else that I was very different in. And people used to tell me that I should stay on the athletics track, that I should do something that a black person would do, stay in a sport that necessarily is black dominated. But I think it was always hard because I'm mixed race, so I'm not white or I'm not black. I've kind of got that mix, and I think that made me even more segregated from everyone else. I hear all the time that black people can't swim, that black people sink in water, and I think I'm living proof that I can. I've been to 2 World Championships, and I'm so proud to kind of fly the flag of my country and show that it can be done and really break down those stereotypes. When I was growing up, I never really had that representation in sport. No one really looked like me, no one really acted like me, so I think I did feel quite lonely in that sense. But hopefully now I'm on the world stage and being that inspiration to many, they can hopefully follow in my footsteps. Thank you for watching my cover shoot. Make sure you like, comment and share this video with all your friends, and hopefully I'll see you soon.